Hillary Clinton becoming the nation's first woman to top the ticket of a major political party, winning the biggest prize of California, along with 3 other states, and landing a devastating blow against rival Bernie Sanders. The history of the moment not lost on Hillary last night.
Thanks to you, we've reached a milestone. The first time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee for president of the United States.
But despite the odds against him, Sanders vowing to take his fight all the way to the convention in Philadelphia. His last hope flipping to his side the hundreds of superdelegates supporting Clinton.
I am pretty good in arithmetic, and I know that the fight in front of us is a very, very steep fight. But we will continue to fight for every vote and every delegate we can get.
Meantime, as Democrats try to unite the party, Fox News confirming that Sanders will be meeting with President Obama and Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid tomorrow. All this as we're still waiting to hear when the president will formally endorse Hillary Clinton. All right, Charlie, you cracked me up last night. You were actively tweeting away as we awaited Hillary to take the stage. She walked out on that stage with her hands on her heart. She shook the hands of her supporters. And you tweet out, and she walks out in wedding gown white. What did you mean by that?
Well, I don't think I've ever seen her wear that. She wears lots of colors, but I don't know that I've ever seen her wear that particular shade of white. And, this is a historic night last night. It is 8 years later than I think she wanted it to happen. And, her message was, I'm a woman, and I'm going to be the first woman president.
Well, those are facts, right, Julie? What did you make of last night?
Well, they are facts. Look, it's not playing the gender card to say that this is a historic moment. I mean, we've always been, women have not even been the bridesmaid, never the bride. I mean, we've never even had a vice president as a woman, and here we have a woman finally. Listen, this may be a woman you like or don't like, but it is something historic. I remember when Barack Obama got elected in 2008, it wasn't lost on me and a lot of other people that it was regardless of how you felt about him, a historic moment to have an African American become the person with the, taking the highest office in the land. And the same thing applies here. Look, I'm not voting for her, supporting her because she's a woman. I think that is a silly, really dumb reason to support somebody. But the moment is not lost, and I think it's not lost, especially on women of her generation, not the women we talked about yesterday of my generation, who haven't had to go through a lot of these struggles, but the women of her generation.
But Julie, we haven't seen an endorsement by the president yet. When do you think that will come?
I think soon, and I think it's because a lot of Democrats are starting to get fed up with Bernie Sanders. I mean, you look at what Bernie Sanders is saying, and he's saying essentially, I'm a populist, I'm not part of the establishment, I lost the largest number of pledged delegates, I lost the majority of the Democratic voters, but I'm going to go to the party bosses and I'm going to tell the party bosses to subvert the will of the voters and support me. That is completely contrary to what he stands for. And I think at some point the president is going to come out and say, listen, it's fine. You want to stay until D.C. votes next week, until the very last vote is cast? Go for it. But at which point are you going to just live up to it?
Historic moment, but yet Bernie Sanders steps up and doesn't really even acknowledge it.
I don't think he's obligated to acknowledge it. I think that he's still her challenger, and he has every right to stay in this race, because if she's indicted, as we've spoken about, and Julie, you even said that if she's indicted, she's going to have to step down. And what's Bernie Sanders going to do? Take all this hard work and throw it away so Joe Biden can swoop in at the last moment and take the nomination? That's not very fair. That's not very just. Those aren't the issues that he has been fighting for. And he does have every right. He is not beholden to the party. And yes, it's great to see a woman who's a major party nominee. That is historic. That's wonderful. As one of Bernie Sanders' supporters said, I've always wanted to see a woman president, just not this woman, because she has no honor.
Okay, but will the party unite? Because now we have word that Bernie Sanders is going to be meeting with President Obama and Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid. What happens there?
So I think I'm the Bernie Bulletin on the couch today. For some reason, I don't know how I got that title. Anyway, Fox News has been confirming some things over the last 12 or 14 hours. One is we should look forward to some staffing changes for Bernie Sanders, and I don't mean bigger. So that will be interesting to see that happen over the next couple of days and what that will look like. And then right before we came to set, the Daily Beast catching Vice President Joe Biden on his walk to the Capitol, through the Capitol. Biden saying we should be a little graceful and give him, meaning Sanders, the opportunity to decide on his own.
Okay, so did they force him out, Charlie?
They're going to do everything that they can to force him out. But I agree with Kennedy. He has no reason to go anywhere, and I think he's going to draw this out as long as, because he's a man on a mission now, and he's got a mandate, and he represents a lot of people that the Democratic Party needs to be there with them in November.
Except I think he becomes less and less relevant as time goes on if he doesn't get out. Look, right now he can cut whatever deal he wants to cut. Clearly she's not pushing him out. She wants him to come into the tent. But now you have people like Jeff Merkley, senator from Oregon, who's the only senator, the only colleague of Bernie Sanders in the Senate who's endorsed him, saying, all right, time to face the music, you might want to go. And that drumbeat is going to increase more and more and more when people in the Democratic Party say, listen, the enemy here is not Hillary Clinton, the enemy here is Donald Trump. And the faster we all coalesce and the faster Bernie Sanders lives up to his commitment to make sure Donald Trump does not become the next president of the United States, the faster we can all coalesce. And that drumbeat is going to increase, and it's going to crescendo with the following. Enough superdelegates are going to sign on to a letter, I believe, saying we're not switching our vote to you.
But that's...
And the President of the United States is going to come out and say enough is enough.
I was going to say.
Talk about suppressing the will of the voters. Superdelegates fly in the face of
I agree.
the voters.
You and I agree.
Yeah, and Margot Kidder actually did a stunning amount of research on how these superdelegates were clinched for Hillary Clinton, and it was through the Hillary Victory Fund, which funneled money to state party bosses, who then funneled money to various campaigns and to people. So she essentially bought these superdelegates' commitment.
But now he's asking those superdelegates that you don't think are Democratic with a small d to all of a sudden subvert the will of the very voters that she supports. That got.
All right,
that's not my issue. It's the AP story. The AP anonymously contacting superdelegates. They didn't even come out and name the people they were talking about. And based on those secretive conversations, they declared that Hillary Clinton was the presumptive nominee.
All right, things heating up. We've got a lot more to get to.